I barely know. That's the thing I didn't realize about these live streamers. I'll be real with you. Everybody talks shit about Kai Cenat and all those weirdos like Speed and all that type shit, right? We all talk about how they're weirdos, they're annoying, they're lame. They are. I'll be honest. They have a lot of cultural weight to them right now, but they are weird. I'm not a fan of it. I'm from a different generation, but I will say there's a lot more skill to this live streaming shit than you think there is, bro. I'm telling you right here, right now, there's a lot more skill to this shit. You have to be like a technical person while also being funny and, stating your own shit. You know what I mean? And having a cat that likes to bring himself in front of everything. You know? Shit is crazy. Shit is crazy out here. But back to what I was saying, if you guys are a fan of any of that music that was playing, please check out Zaya. His mixtape, Very Alone, was an album that I loved. It came out years ago, but it still, to me, is the shit. Like, I ride with it. He has a new album called The Real Black Jesus that came out about a year ago, and he had an album before that called American Psycho, which is also great. It's also great stuff. So please check it out, because I just like, I'm a small creator. He's a bigger creator than me, but he doesn't have that many subscribers, which is so surprising. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll hear people with immense talent, and they don't have as many listeners, as many viewers as they should have. And he's one of those people, for sure. For sure. At least for me. You know what I mean? And, since this whole Kendrick Drake beef thing has kind of been popping up in the last month, this whole thing has been talked about, if Drake leaves, like, thank God, it'll pave the way for all these other people to get in. I don't necessarily believe that's true, but I do like that a spotlight is being put on people with smaller followings, and that they can now put themselves out there because more people are willing to listen. When it comes to hip-hop, everybody wants to make these kind of baseline, easy assumptions, right? Hip-hop is negative, and hip-hop is this, and hip-hop is that. And the truth is, none of those things is true, and all of it's true. Hip-hop isn't one thing. Hip-hop is everything. You know what I mean? Especially now with the internet and how big hip-hop is, there is no one discussion to be had about hip-hop. It's an ever-flowing discussion, comprised of a bunch of different topics. That's just how this shit goes now. Before, it used to just be rap, and there'd be like one dude talking hard, another dude talking about, hey, we need to come together. Now there's a million different things. There's the dude who's like, we need to come together. Then there's a dude who raps all hard. Then there's a dude who, is rapping about taking drugs. Then there's the dude who's rapping about being depressed while on drugs. You know what I mean? You could have one person who's in one of those four categories, or you could have somebody who's all four. Then there's, women as well too, who are now being highlighted a lot more in hip-hop, a lot of female MCs and stuff like that. So they're giving birth, no pun intended, giving birth to this different level of psychology and introspection that we didn't really have because hip-hop was so male-dominated. And there's billions of other types of hip-hop too that I'm not even bringing up and representing that I think people need to acknowledge. Because I'm not going to lie, maybe I'm just online too much, but I feel like every time I'm on Twitter, every time I'm on Threads, somebody wants to make some big grandiose statement about hip-hop as if like, yo, the money and the women is the only thing that's ever being talked about. It's like, yeah, bro, I mean, that's on the radio, but that's not what's in everybody's headphones. You realize what I'm saying? And like, even now, that doesn't even matter because like the radio is not what it used to be. Sure, they're going to push it through Spotify and everything, but you have a lot of control over the things that you consume and the things that you enjoy, musically, especially within hip-hop, you know what I mean? So I think when people say those big statements, all it says to me is you're lazy. It was easy for hip-hop to be a certain way, when it was young in its infancy because there wasn't any money to be made. And, it's just a sign of the times. It's like people at this time and living this way, so that's what things are. But as time progresses, different cultures within black culture start sparking up, you know what I mean? Or somebody who doesn't feel like they're represented within black culture creates their own culture, you know, through that. These things happen over time, these voices change, and now everybody has more room, you know? But that's just me. That's just me. But like I was saying, please make sure to show love to Zaya, because or Zaya, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the dude is just incredible, and this just goes to show you how many people could be up at that next echelon that just simply aren't. And you know, I've known this a lot through comedy for years. Like, trust me, bro. Like, you think this guy on Instagram is funny? You think this guy that you saw on Comedy Central or NBC is funny? Bro, there's so many niggas who are on like my level of comedy that are doing comedy in bars, that are doing comedy in front of crowds, that are talking over them while they eat food, that are the most hilarious people you will ever meet and that you will ever see, but you'll never get to see them simply because of just different things, you know. Maybe they weren't around the right guy at the right time, you know. Maybe they pissed off the wrong person, you know, or simply they just didn't try hard enough, didn't put themselves out there, you know. So there's so much when it comes to all this type of stuff that when I do see somebody who has true talent and everything, I do like to highlight that. All right, that being said, check them out. But there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about today. There are a lot of things I want to talk about today. Obviously, the whole Nipsey thing, that's coming. This nigga said Will Smith is the best rapper alive. I do agree. I do agree. Parents just don't understand. You know what I mean? Let's be real. You know, that was the realest shit that nigga ever wrote. Parents just don't understand. You know, people want to shit on Will Smith, but let's be honest, bro. Like, Will Smith, if we're being real, has a couple classics. You know, Parents Just Don't Understand was a time capsule. You know what I mean? It might not, it's something that people roll their eyes now and they laugh, whatever. But it was a time capsule, bro. At the time, it's cool, it's fun, whatever. People liked it. On top of that shit, bro, like, there's a lot of other shit, man. You know, he has Summertime. Summertime is a fucking hit, bro. I don't care what nobody say. Summertime is a hit. Will Smith walked so that Drake could run. Okay, my nigga? That's the fact. That's what I'm trying to get to. I want to say a lot of shit, but that's what I'm trying to get to. Will Smith walked so Drake could run. Because niggas want to make fun about Will Smith, but the fact of the matter is, Will Smith is actually nice. Will Smith is actually nice. You want me to put some shit up right now? Summertime Madness is a fire culture. It is. It is, bro. But people want to get so defensive and weird when it comes to hip-hop and gatekeep to so many different things. You know what I mean? And the worst part is, a lot of them don't even really be knowing what they're even talking about. Let me put up this shit. I was watching this shit the other day about Will Smith fucking freestyling. This is Will Smith freestyle. You guys listen to Will Smith? I love Will Smith. That's my favorite nigga. That's me, because the for some reason the H on my shit don't work. I don't know why. I've tried this shit so many times. Why is my computer dumb slow right now? Will Smith freestyle. Yeah, so Will Smith is one of my, like, yeah, I love this nigga, man. People might not know this, but you know, Will Smith and Drake actually wrote Icon for Jaden. So I think that's something you guys need to, you know, throw to him. You know what I mean? Two of the greatest culture vultures the world has ever seen, my nigga. Let me see. I'm about to show you. You laugh. I'm seeing my boy in there. He's laughing right now in the chat right now. Laughing that Will Smith is nice. Will Smith is actually fucking nice. You need to stop playing with his name right now. You need to stop playing with his name right now. Because he's an actually talented man. Yo, let's put this shit on, bro. Shout out to Timmons, bro. We about to speed this up because I don't want things to get
Mic check enter, don't stop enter. 10 Westwood doing it good. Big Will doing this thing, y'all. Big Will, yo. Check it. For years I've been trying to rip rhymes and get mine and spit lines hot like lava. This time I don't got a sitcom to bother with or a time conflict with my sci-fi hits. I'm concentrating on making hits and I'm.
Let's stop it right there. Let's stop it right there. Okay? Let's stop right there. There's a lot of leaned out rappers who couldn't even match that. Okay? And I know it's a little bit like, ha 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 ha. It's some old school shit. I'm not gonna lie that it's not some old school shit, but let's be real. That shit was nice. That shit was nice. Let's keep going.
Contemplating each statement's written, I'm fitting them. Line by line, teeth, I'm gritting them. Trying to find the perfect rhyme and scheme, I'm dreaming about y'all gleaming doubt. He's back from acting, he's screaming out. How he practiced rapping, now he's devout. Every album track packs what he's about. In the past,
this is what you niggas think you sound like in front of the bathroom mirror. Let's keep playing.
he passed with passion, old fashioned, boldly mashing, totally crashing. Words up in a disorderly fashion, but back to the lab and guess what happened? Kaboom! Woo-wee! Dude's resilient. Fresh Prince was hot to move.
All right, I will say that the sound effects weren't great, but you know the flow is still hot. The flow is still hot, and what I'm trying to say here to you guys watching right now is you need to understand that hip hop is not a monolith. Hip hop has a lot of different things to offer. You know what I mean? And it's not this singular thing that you can talk shit about and act as if you own and then tweak it every 2 seconds when you just don't like somebody. You know what I mean? I think Will Smith is a testament to that. You know, he's a spitter, bro. He's a spitter. I wanted to talk about something, though, before we get into the Nipsey stuff, before we get into a couple other things. I wanted to talk about this. I saw this recently on Threads. This is an old article, but apparently Paris Jackson has been saying she identifies as a black woman. I had to give a little bit of a pregnant pause there because I just feel like that's a lot to take in. I do get it though. Her father is like the most important black man in like world history. I know that sounds awful because you're like, Phil, what about like Nelson Mandela and like Martin Luther King and all that shit? And that's true, but they didn't have dance moves, and I think people need to start acknowledging that. All right. If I'm being honest, We Are the World probably could have ended apartheid right there. You know what I mean? If Michael was from South Africa, things would have been different. But, you know, that's just how shit go. But apparently, Paris Jackson has been saying that she is, identifies as a black woman. And listen, you know, there's a lot of mixed race people out there. If we're looking at statistics of the way that America's going, truth be told, there's going to be more mixed race people the farther along the world gets. All right? And I think when this comes to blackness and all that type of stuff, if you got some black in you, you know what I mean? Especially if your father's black, you can claim that. That being said, you look at this woman, and there's just not much, you know. There's not. This is a Mayo face, you know, and I don't mean that in a derogatory term, but she definitely looks like the person who dips her fries in mayo. Right? You know what I mean? She looks like the person who, if we were in the 90s and you said her ass looks fat, she would cry for hours. All right? She doesn't seem like, I mean, look at her hair. Look at her hair. Her father had to have years of physical abuse by his father to even perm his hair hard enough for his hair to look like that. Her hair is just here, naturally like that. She looks like she could be friends with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. Not saying she's not cool, not saying she probably doesn't have like fire bud. You know, I've dated a lot of girls who look like this girl. And what can tell you right here, right now, is that they all have a great credit score. Let's just say that. I won't say what race I think they identify as, but I will say they have a tremendous credit score. Okay? But this is, I wanted to see what this was. So let's just read into what she thinks all this is. It says, Michael shot to fame as a young pop star in the band Jackson 5 alongside his siblings in the 1960s and went on to find worldwide success. That is one way. That's how you do it. You know, people like to talk about the past and old Hollywood as if it was just a bunch of people sucking and doing some strange things for a bit of change in some back rooms and going to the Diddy parties. But you know what? There was also people who worked hard. There was also groups of people who had a father like Joe Jackson just whipping them into shape, figuratively and literally. And I feel like that gets lost. So, yes, alongside his siblings in the 1960s, went to find worldwide success. Several of his hits include I Want You Back, Blame It on the Boogie, and Can You Feel It? While in later life, Michael had fair skin, the hitmaker was African American and had a darker complexion when he first became famous. Incredibly true, but it's one of those things too where it's like I feel like they're almost taking shots at him. Where it's like, yeah, they're like he was said to have vitiligo, which caused the pigmentation in his skin to go lighter as he got older. With Michael's African American heritage in mind, his daughter Paris identifies as black. I get that, but at the same time, the way they're wording it makes it sound like he left her blackness in the will. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is my last will and testament. She gets all of my houses, all of my cars, and the right to not get a taxi in New York City. Weird, but I get it. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it is her father and everything, but let's see where we can find her talking about this. Discussing the matter with Rolling Stone magazine in 2017, Paris said that she considers herself black, saying, Michael would look me in the eyes and he'd point his finger at me and he'd be like, you're black. Be proud of your roots. Now, coming from a person, myself, who had a mother who cared about me very deeply, whenever your parent takes you to the side and they point at you and be like, hey, you're this, you're usually not that. You know what I mean? Like when your mom pulls you to the side and like, hey, you're beautiful and smart. You're usually not. You're usually ugly and dumb. But she loves you so much, she has to tell you that. Because the thing is, if you weren't ugly and dumb, you'd probably just know that inherently. You know what I mean? So if somebody had to pull you aside and tell you that, you're probably not. You know, but I don't know. Maybe it is true. Maybe people just don't have mothers that love them as much as mine, that is willing to lie to me. Basically what I'm saying is Michael Jackson and my mom are the two greatest parents on the face of the earth. But let's keep going. And he'd be like, okay, he's my dad. And I'd be like, okay, he's my dad. Why would he lie to me? So I just believe what he told me, because to my knowledge, he's never lied to me. That's fair. That's actually kind of sweet, and that makes me feel bad about the past thing that I just said. That makes me actually feel terrible about what I just said. But you know, it is still true. She actually goes to bring up, you know, that there are mixed people who look like her, because she has said, hey, listen, people think I look super fucking white. And there's also other mixed people who look super fucking white. And she brings up Wentworth Miller, you know, being born to a black father and a white mother. If you guys don't know, Wentworth Miller is a guy who played Captain Cold. Wentworth Miller. There we go. He's British, which, you know, technically, if you guys don't know, actually makes him less black. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, he's a Prison Break guy. Look at that guy. Captain Cold from The Flash. This guy. He's that guy. He does not look very black. You know, so he could definitely pass. I would probably be asking what his father looks like, because there's a lot of people. Here's the thing, when it came to, yeah, Logic looks white. Yeah, somebody's like, Logic looks white too. He does. There's some people who look very, very white. I would say that, though, you know, when somebody looks like this, or looks like Logic, or looks like Paris, I would be asking what their father or their mother looks like. Well, let's be honest, what their father looks like. But, you know, like this dude, he probably, because I've seen, that's the thing about America when it comes to calling yourself black, not calling yourself black. You know what I mean? It's like, because America has the one drop rule. It's like you can be like an 8th black, and then your dad, who's a 7th black, fucks a white lady, and now you're technically like black, but you're like not black. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he identifies as a black man. I appreciate that and everything, but if we're looking at my guy's hairline, there clearly is a distance between him and the African diaspora. Okay? Let's be real with me. Let's be real here. Okay? That hairline says all lives matter. Okay? That hairline says I've never met a cop I didn't like. All right? That hairline says I don't talk in movie theaters. Why would you do that? You know? So let's see. You know what I mean? What does Logic's dad look like? I wonder, because Logic does look white. Logic looks white, but he also looks like if we were in the 1940s, he would still have to live in the segregated part of town. You know what I mean? Like, he's still okay. Yeah, so his dad is light skinned. His dad is very light skinned. You know what I mean? Like, Logic does look white, but his hair is very curly. It's a weird thing. It's like he's the one step past Paris Jackson. Does that make sense? It's like, or the one step before Paris Jackson. Like if Logic has a kid with a white lady, that kid is Paris Jackson. You know what I mean? His dad does look black though, and I'll be honest. You know, here when it comes from the Black Authority, the fedora makes him blacker. The fedora definitely makes him blacker. He looks like the dude from Mambo Number 5. You remember that? A little bit of Erica in my life. He looks like that dude. Yeah, the dude from Prison Break is black. I know. People don't realize that. People don't realize that. You know, there's a lot of secret black people. You know what I mean? Sometimes being black or being an ethnicity, I feel like when you're mixed with white, can almost be like being like Jewish or something. Like, you know how like sometimes like people of the Jewish community will like change their last name and then like kind of not present that they're like Jewish or whatever because like the mainstream, I guess, won't accept it or something. That's kind of what a lot of black people do, or like people who are mixed race, not even black, but like mixed and something. Like the dude from Psych. You guys don't remember that guy? Psych. The TV show. This guy. So he's very, very white passing. You know, he's very white passing. What if I was talking about this guy, the obviously black man in the back? I'm like, some people just lie about being black. It's like, and this nigga, no, it's this dude. Apparently his last name is like Gomez or like Sanchez or some shit, but he used to just lie and be like, hey, I'm not. My last name is fucking O'Hara or some shit. And it wasn't until people had wanted more Latin representation that he now has switched his last name and done that. I don't know if he cares more or if it's that he just sees more opportunity, but who the fuck knows, man? I don't know. What do you guys think when it comes to all this type of shit? When it comes to, you know, people not disclosing their race. I'm not going to say it like lying about their race, but not disclosing their race. What do you think about that? Like, do you think it's cool? Do you think it's not cool but understandable? Do you think it's cool and understandable? Like, what? Because to me, I don't fuck with it, bro. I don't fuck with it. I think you can like whatever you like, you can care about whatever you care about, believe in whatever you believe, but I think the whole notion of you, like, I don't know, not openly being who you are is like fucking weird, bro. It's weird. It's real weird. And I think a lot of people allow like a cop out because they're like, they're not totally fucking whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like, they're not just black. They're also white. They're equally white. It's like, yeah, sure. But right now, they're using their whiteness to like this weird advantage while making the blackness or the Latino-ness or the Asian-ness disappear. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah, somebody said Emilio Estevez is a real one. He is. He is, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's like Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, fucking, Martin Sheen's last name is Estevez. It's like, bro, just be fucking Estevez. Who cares, bro? Like, that's always a weird thing. I always wonder too, especially with Latino people, because there's a couple Latino guys watching right now. When they say, like, when people talk about Latin representation and shit, right? And like on TV and everything, right? And it's like they do it here all the time. Like, oh, you don't have enough Asian people, you don't have enough black people, you don't have enough Latino people, right? And there's a big issue. But then, you look at like telenovelas or what people may watch in Latin countries, and all the people who are playing these characters are white. Does that still bother you? That in like a weird way, sometimes like American film diversity is like almost more ahead of the curve than Latin film diversity, or is that not true at all? I don't know. I just wonder how people feel when it comes to that stuff, because it's weird. It's like, people are mixed race and stuff like that, and I guess are allowed to be whoever they are and shit like that. But as someone who grew up the way I grew up, where people were very, very racist, could be very weird and shit, and you might have to fight just because you don't look like a white person. Like, when I see somebody who is mixed or something, and then they're just like, I'm not that. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of sad, bro. That shit is super fucking weird, bro. I don't like that shit. Like, I was actually, some of you guys may know me for my stand-up comedy and all my other shit that I would do, throwing shows and stuff in the city. And like, not for nothing, like, I did a show for a bunch of like rock bands. I used to literally throw shit in my house. Like, bro, when I was living in Bushwick, life was lit. I used to literally throw house parties in my basement. The basement was massive. We'd throw these crazy ass parties and shit. We'd have like 6 rock bands, 5 rap groups, some comedy on top of it. Shit was crazy. People in the chat know what I'm talking about. Shit was wild, bro. Shit was wild. But I remember one time we had a bunch of bands, and there was this girl. She's very, I guess she was mixed, but she was like very like black looking. You know what I mean? So she's half black, half white, but she looks a lot more black. Like, I wouldn't have thought. I mean, maybe you could see she's mixed, but I wouldn't have thought it, right? And she's lead singing and playing like bass or like playing guitar, and I go up on stage. I'm doing my little comedy shit, bro, and then I fucking, go in to congratulate her and shit and be like, yo, like, shout out to, the black woman. I forget her name, but I was like, shout out to blah, blah, blah. Black woman out here doing her shit, killing it, black girl magic. And then she was literally, I swear to God, bro, she was literally like, cut me off during that shit. She was like, I'm not black, I'm mixed. And like, was like angry, bro. And I've never heard, I don't know, I've never, even from somebody who is mixed but more leans white, I've never heard so much anger for being called a black person before. And that was a very strange, like, it took me back, like, because I was like angry about it, because I'm like, no, number one, I felt vulnerable, because I'm like, I'm showing you love, and then you kind of smacked it down. Number two, it's like, I'm also like, I'm a black person, so why is that so bad and shit, you know what I mean? And it was weird too, because I kept on trying to like work with it and like, do my crowd work as a stand-up comedian, bro. And all these fucking like, they were like 21. By the time I was like 28, 29, but they were like 22, 23, so they're like Gen Z, like woke. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I was just trying to call. And they're like, she doesn't have to identify as black. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, bro? So I don't know. People get weird with that shit, bro. People get weird with that shit. And it was also one of those things where I almost wanted to throw everybody out. I'll be 100% with you. I almost wanted to throw everyone out that motherfucker, bro. That shit had me angry. Like, angry. How dare you, like, how dare you not want to be black, bro? I'm not gonna lie. How dare you not want to be black, bro? And then you throw it down like that. I don't know. It was weird. It was real weird. I hated that shit, man. You know, yeah. My dude says like it's like Dominicans try to say they're not black. Exactly. It's like, bro, like you can say you're mixed, but you don't have to put down the African side. If you want to acknowledge all of who you are, fine, but you don't have to denounce another side. That's my problem. That's my problem. But you know, cause like I fly my flag high. You know what I mean? I come from a black immigrant family. You know, a lot of like my homies and shit feel the same way. It's like they're Dominican, they're Colombian, all that type of shit. Bro, when you out here and you're different and you have the house, you know, you live with a bunch of fucking white kids and they come over to your house and you have the house with the smelly shit. You know what I mean? That's fire, but they don't know it's fire yet. All they have is dinosaur chicken nuggets. All right? Like you learn how to take pride in that. At first it is vulnerable. At first it does hurt a little bit, but you learn how to take pride in all of those things and appreciate those things. So the fact that people don't is fucking wild. You know what I mean? Like I take pride in being a Jamaican person. And that being said, now I want to show some true Jamaican pride right here, right now. And I want to say shout out to all the Jamaicans still doing dirt out here. Shout out. Shout out to all the Jamaicans. Between this and Sean Kingston, we've really been putting the work in. You know what I mean? Sean Kingston out here scamming everybody, right? You know, we didn't want the Nigerians to take over, so I appreciate that. Now we're putting ourselves out there. I need to play this video though, bro. It was fucking crazy. Let's see. Yeah, there's a New York Jamaican food truck seized in massive drug raid. So this happened maybe like a day or two ago, a few days ago. But yeah, there was some truck in upstate New York, Orange County, New York, that was selling jerk chicken along with cocaine and guns, bro. Police revealed that a 6-month investigation named Operation Hot Lunch, hilarious, exposed a sophisticated drug and gun trafficking ring operating out of a food truck selling Jamaican cuisine. This truck had been stationed for years outside the city courthouse in Newark, New York. I didn't know there was a Newark in New York. That's what's up. Yeah, bro. I mean, listen, if you know anything about Jamaican spots, quite a few have some back dealings, bro. So this is no surprise to me. In addition to the arrest, authorities confiscated dozens of weapons hidden in takeaway boxes, along with kilos of cocaine and fentanyl. During a press conference on Thursday, Orange County District Attorney David Hoovler, this nigga sounds like a snitch, explained that the Real Spice Jamaican food truck was involved in selling guns, cocaine, and Jamaican food. Listen, I'll tell you this though. Supposedly they have been doing this for quite a long time. For them to be doing this for so long in front of a courthouse and not get snitched on must mean the food is fire. Must mean the food is fire, nigga. Like what I would do for a Real Spice Jamaican food truck meal right now, dog. Like all those niggas who are gonna be bunkmates with these dudes in prison are in for a treat. Because they're gonna hook up those ramen noodles. They're gonna put their foot in those ramen noodles. I'm telling you right now, boy. Get ready for that shit. Let's see what else. He identified the owner, Kirkland Salmon, as the mastermind behind the elaborate operation. Kirkland Salmon, the one of the most Jamaican names I've ever heard in my fucking life. I love it. The food truck operated right next door to the city courthouse, within 150 feet of the city courthouse. It sold food, sold guns, and it sold cocaine, said Hoovler, national snitch. Authorities detailed that the trafficking ring had a sophisticated 4-tier structure. Guns were supplied from North Carolina, while drugs, primarily cocaine, were sourced from Florida. And you know what I like about this? We're bringing black people together. You know, we got black people in upstate New York, we got black people in North Carolina, we got black people in Florida, and they're all coming together to sell guns, cocaine, and Jamaican food. Beautiful. Unity. This is what I'm talking about. This is what this mixed girl didn't understand. You know what I mean? You gotta uplift your brothers. and your sisters. You know what I mean? She didn't understand unity, and which is why, you know, she don't roll with this shit. But I saw the video. I saw the news video for it, so I want to put this on and just let this shit play for a little bit. This shit crazy. Let's get it in.
A food truck in Orange County, New York, apparently selling a whole lot more than just meals inside.
Take a look at the drugs and the guns that police say were hidden in takeout containers. 30 people were busted. Cops say the ring made millions selling narcotics and weapons out of a supposed food truck parked in downtown Newburgh.
Investigators say they busted one of the largest drug operations in the history of Orange County. Here's
That's fucking crazy, bro. Think about how mad the dude must have been too, like, of having that large of a drug operation just get fucking destroyed. And think how mad everybody was in that line when everything got seized. Because, bro, I'll be honest, Jamaican food, they got amazing food, some of the worst service in the world. So you know these niggas had to wait forever to get their jerk chicken, their oxtail, whatever, bro. And the fact, I could see just like a line around the corner wrapping around. These niggas get arrested and everybody in the line like, hold up. Before you take them away, tell them to finish everything. Tell them to finish the food and give me my food, because I've been waiting for 30 minutes already.
Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis.
The lot across the street from Newburgh City Court is the spot for food trucks, but one regular is missing. The Real Spice street from Newburgh City Court.
Shout out to Arepa Post Los Pañas. Definitely not selling cocaine. Yeah? Definitely not selling cocaine.
Is the spot for food trucks, but one regular is missing. The Real Spice truck has been relocated to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, not to serve up Jamaican food. It's been seized because of other items that were for sale.
It sold food, it sold guns, and it sold cocaine. And Mr. Salmon was the epicenter of that.
That would.
Number one, I want to say I can't wait till the Netflix documentary comes out about this. Most likely executive produced by 50 Cent. I think it's fucking hysterical. Like, I cannot wait till it comes out, because this Hoovler guy, let's go back to this dude. He just look at his face. Just look at his face. This dude just seems salty. Like, he's the one that, like, when you're in a drug documentary, he doesn't modulate his voice. He doesn't. Nah, he stares. He just get it all. Take it in. You know what I mean? This is a dude who wants his man, and he got him.
Was the epicenter of that.
That would be 42-year-old Kirkland Salmon, one of 30 people arrested in what's considered the largest gun trafficking and drug bust in Orange County.
Damn. Operation
Hot Lunch investigating.
I love it. Who names these? I want to know who names operations and who names hurricanes. Because whoever does it is knocking that out of the park. And I just need to also know what are the dynamics of it. Like, who, how, like, you know what I mean? Like, how does it work? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you get that job? Like, is there a guy whose entire job is just naming operations and tropical rainstorms? You know, do you have to get a degree for that? Do you take a Google certificate? Take some night classes? Let me know, because I'm trying to do it. I need to make some money. I'm fucking broke out here.
Investigators spent 6 months purchasing illegal guns, firearms that were often packaged in food containers. The guns were brought up from North Carolina, the drugs from Florida. Officials say what set this enterprise up.
Let me say, I will say this. We've talked about the bad service and shit. Do you think, like, can you imagine going over there trying to get, like, a Glock and still getting bad customer service? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about Jamaicans. We're funny people. We're very funny people. Like, I'm just imagining some dude going over trying to get a sawed-off shotgun and a kilo of cocaine, and just the dude just sucking his teeth, being all obtuse. Cocaine done. It's like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? We out to Dutch.
Drugs from Florida. Officials say what set this enterprise apart was the level of complexity, a 4-tiered system, sophistication that had never been seen before.
The money of this organization moved around with ease. It was invested into real estate, property, and crypto, in properties in Orange County and other things.
Prosecutors say a barbershop served as a stash house for some of the proceeds, estimated to be over $3 million a year. Nearly 40 different law enforcement agencies took part in the investigation, including the ATF and the NYPD, which had some of its undercover officers make purchases.
Fighting crime knows no bounds, whether it's Brooklyn, Buffalo, or anywhere in between. If you're trafficking illegal guns and drugs, we will bring you to justice.
Some of the suspects face up to 25 years in prison. In Newburgh, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Fucking Jesus, what am I doing? Fuck, that's crazy. Bro, I'll say this though, man, like, you know, if you're gonna get arrested, it's better to get arrested in some sort of giant raid with you and all of your friends. Let's be real though. Let's be 100%. I'd rather get arrested with 30 or 40 of my buddies than just get arrested alone. Number one, camaraderie. You know, now y'all have a story to tell. And number two, fuck it. Let's say half of you, you know, they put away a quarter of each of you guys in a different prison. You at least have somebody to hold your shit down, bro. There's nothing worse than being the one guy in the group who gets caught. Let everybody get caught. Then you feel like you hold it down. You feel the camaraderie of it. Nigga, I'm not snitching. Nigga, you do all that, right? Make the mean mug. Don't do that, nigga. I don't snitch, nigga. You know what I mean? Right? Like, these dudes, they have at least 30 guys, bro. At least 30 guys. That's enough to play, you know, what is that? That's enough to play, you know, 8-on-8 volleyball. You could do a volleyball tournament with that. That's not bad. That's not bad. They need to start locking niggas up together. If they lock everybody up together, they're good, bro. They're good, bro. I mean, honestly, this probably isn't their first rodeo, so you know, their wives, their girls, all know this shit, bro. And you know, it was rough, but those last couple years though, shit was lit. I know it was lit. Can you imagine the different photos they're gonna be showing dudes in prison, bro? Them in minks and shit, like, bro, shit was different. Shit was different at the Jamaican spice truck, nigga. Shit was crazy. Yeah, but you know, I also say that to say this, man. It's crazy how much things can change in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? Like, you be on the top of the world just smack the shit out you. The world will smack the shit out of you. And I bring that up because, you know, I was talking about 50 Cent, and I feel like, mark my words, bro. Mark my words right here. The world is about to smack this nigga in the back of the head, bro. I don't know why. I'm not gonna, like, he hasn't done anything specifically crazy, but I think there's just something wrong with him and the way that he's been conducting himself in the last few years. You know what I mean? It's not that he's necessarily a bad guy. Like, you know what it is that he hasn't changed. You know, we were talking about the Kendrick Drake shit, right? And everything, and like about how like Drake hasn't changed, right? And 50 and Drake seem to be friends. They like each other and shit. The reason these niggas like each other is because they're two petty niggas who will never fucking change, bro. And that's what I'm saying. It's like 50 is hilarious. I love 50. The black community loves 50. The culture loves 50. He's the funny dude. He's the Donald Trump of hip hop. He'll say anything, doesn't care who he offends. But the fact of the matter is, now 50 Cent is rising to this next level. That Diddy shit, bro, brought him to the next level. His whole, you know, Power, Rising, Caden, Part 83, you know, all that shit helped him to the point where he's become this media mogul and everything, which is great. We love him. Hilarious. Great. Awesome. But now I think he's making a misstep where I don't think Diddy made missteps, where he's not realizing that in order to keep the spot that you've been given, because you've been given it, you did not take it, and you might have earned it, but you were given it, bro. But in order to keep that realm that you're in, you need to stop talking shit all the time. You need to stop talking shit all the time, bro. Like, that's something that I feel like he's just never learned. Like, 50, I like 50. I'm happy for everything he's gotten and everything like that, but he never shuts his mouth. And it's like, if you're the type of guy who never shuts your mouth, there's a ceiling to where you go. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I feel like, you know, he shits on Diddy all the time, but that's one thing, and rightfully so. I mean, Diddy's a creep and a weirdo. Let's just keep it a bean. But at the same time, like, that's something that Diddy clearly knew that this nigga does not know. And I feel like his days are numbered as far as being this mogul type dude. It's just because the way he conducts himself is just dumb and weird. It's like, it's funny enough because it's like a lot of his fan base is like hard street dudes who think any rapper that does anything that's not, you know, typical rapper shit is like gay. But now you're getting to this mainstream world, bro. You need to figure your shit out. Like, even with this, it's like everything he posts is like this weird cryptic game he has with people. Like, even with this shit, right? Posted this 8 hours ago. He's like, yo, I want my boy Andrew Schultz to lead, to play the lead in my scripted version coming soon. Green Light Gang, boom, whatever. It's like, all right. Does he like Andrew Schultz? Are they like friends? Or is he like subtly calling this nigga like a weird murderer? You know what I mean? Like, is he trying to sow seeds of like dissent with fucking, you know, with Andrew Schultz? He always does weird shit like this, bro. He just digs shit into the ground. I saw some shit. He deleted something earlier today about the dude getting sexually assaulted. He had, if you guys don't know 50 Cent's empire of what he's been ruling right now, what 50 Cent essentially has a bunch of different shit. I mean, he started out with Power, which was huge, and now that's spun off into a bunch of different things. The son from the show Power recently was groped. I mean, he was assaulted and stuff, but it's more on the lenient side of that, and in the sense of like he was groped, but you know, it wasn't anything crazy, and it was by a woman and stuff and everything. Still very, very unacceptable behavior. But 50 Cent, he now deleted it. I actually came here to check that. He now deleted it, but he posted some shit about like, you know, about the article that was written about his own co-star or whatever, and it was just like, oh, fucking, you know, oh, don't worry, he's all right or whatever, and they called it a sexual assault in the article, and he's like making this joke, and it's just like, bro, that's not something a CEO or a guy at your level should be making a joke about, even if people don't really think it's that big of a deal. People have been canceled or removed for worse, or for less, actually, for both, for worse and for less. And you just have to realize that, you know, you're in a privileged place right now. Don't do dumb shit. But that dude, he did get touched with some crazy shit, man. It's some crazy shit. Apparently, he was on a live stream. People, you gotta start watching out, man. This live stream stuff is very interesting. I mean, I like it because, you know, I'm a 90s baby, you know what I mean? I was raised on live television and all that type of stuff, so I like the interaction type thing with it, and I like how people can watch it as if this is a TV program. I think that's dope. That being said, though, there's a lot of weird shit that can go wrong, so we're gonna play this real quick.
Great guests tonight here on The Factor Uncensored. Let's get right down to business. This is an important reminder tonight. Men can also be victims of sexual assault, in case you didn't know. An actor says he's still processing what happened to him after a woman grabbed him inappropriately on a live stream. This happened Sunday on a Twitch live stream for an influencer named Ty Jones. Actor Michael Rainey Jr., who is from Power, can be seen in the background when a woman who has been identified as James' sister walks up to him and appears to grab him.
Let's keep it real. Not cool. Yeah, you can clearly tell by his face. He's like, what the fuck is going on? That being said, what does she actually look like? She must be beat. She must be beat. Even if she was hot, that's still inappropriate behavior. I don't want anybody thinking that it's not. It's terrible, terrible inappropriate behavior. But if she was sexier, I feel like he might not look like this. Let's go.
By the private area. You can see it on Rainey's face. He looked very uncomfortable.
This nigga looks so weirded out. This nigga looks so weirded out. Why did you stop the stream? Bro, that's the thing too, man. When you're trying to get to the next level, you gotta watch like the people around you. Even if it's your own sister, bro, you gotta watch the people around you, bro. Cause now, bro, he's gonna get like whoever's live stream this was. And you gotta think too, this live streamer, this influencer guy, clearly isn't that big, because if he was big, his name would be fucking everywhere. Like, this happened on his shit, and I'm sure he's getting highlighted online, but it's not that crazy. You feel me? It's not that crazy. His stardom, I mean, what his sister is doing is very crazy. Do not do this. Women, do not do this. Men, do not do this. Young men, do not do this. Young women, do not do this. Terrible behavior. Let's keep watching.
By the encounter. Today, he released a statement saying he's in shock and that, quote, sexual assault is never okay regardless of gender or status. We're all human and we should respect each other. Most importantly, we should respect ourselves. Joining us to talk about it, trauma therapist Chow Nguyen. So, Chow, when you took a look at that video, what went through your mind?
Well, the reaction on his face, the disbelief and the freezing, that's considered a trauma response. We either fight, flight, freeze, we fawn, and it looked like he was freezing. He didn't know what to do. He was touched inappropriately. That is sexual violence. And men...
That is true. You know, he definitely froze. That being said, calling it a trauma response, I feel like can be a little much. I mean, listen, bro, like, I've had a lot of crazy shit happen to me and shit where I'm like, yeah, you know, you can freeze for a lot of shit. I mean, a chick grabbing your dick will definitely make you freeze, but I don't think he's curling up in a ball anywhere. I think it was just an awkward situation. You know, if getting quiet or getting weird is a trauma response, then apparently I'm getting molested every time I'm riding an elevator and don't know what to talk about. But let's go on here.
Are victimized by sexual violence as well. 1 in 4, they say, in their lifetime. It's a spectrum. It can be anything from touching to penetration.
And so
that is a fact. People talk about this, you know, or people don't talk about this enough. How often, you know, dudes, you will get run up on. Because the thing is like a lot of women don't know what rejection is, bro. And even the pretty ones, bro. I'm telling you, it's like, you know, there's been times where, because I do stand-up comedy, so the whole essay thing or this person's an R word is like a big thing, you know, like meaning like female comics do it like all the time, and like it could be a real thing, it could be not. There's some that are, you know, are genuine, there's others that aren't, but there have been times, I'm serious, there have been times where I've seen a female comedian or something like that, or someone I know, even like a woman I know, saying like, oh, this guy like grabbed my ass and I froze or something. It's like, yeah, you grabbed my dick like a week ago, you know? So I feel like this is a good thing, that I think this line is getting drawn in the sand of like, people shouldn't be doing this or that, no matter what gender you are, just simply because like, that's something that I feel like a lot of women don't realize, you know, because they're like, hey, I'm pretty and I'm down to fuck you, so like, what's good? Obviously, if you're having like a flirty sexual conversation, you grab some dick, not so bad. But on a live stream and you're the sister of the host, terrible. She's the worst talk show sidekick of all time.
So how do you make the public and people in general take that seriously? Because you think of a male, you should be able to handle it. You should be able to walk away or confront the person and say, don't do it again. But there should be
recourse. There should be accountability. Look, when a man is touched in a...
Quick question I just want to ask. Where's Tommy in this situation? Because if Tommy was here during the live stream, he would have been bucket. He would have been bucket, bro. That's almost like his stepson. Tommy would have been bucket. You should have brought him along.
Appropriately, and we live in a culture that says men have to man up, and there's this issue that, you know, men should be the strong one. It creates a lot of shame and stigma. A lot of men don't even speak up about being sexually violated or a victim of sexual violence because of the cultural stigma and shame around the message that, oh, if you're going to be sexually assaulted as a man, it's okay because you're a man, or you should have spoken out or gotten tough. I mean, we do see these cases. Men are victims of violence. They do come forward, and when they come forward, they often say, are you sure I can talk about it? Are you sure I can address it? Because they're embarrassed. They don't know what to say. They freeze.
And when you have a case like this, when initially the one who held the...
See, yeah, man, I you know, yeah, this is a touchy thing, man. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I wonder what is going on with their family right now. That's one question I do want to ask. I want to know what's going on with the fam of the dude who hosts this show, because he's obviously not a famous person. He might have known the guy from growing up. Or maybe they just, you know, he hit it off. Right place, right time, networking, doing his thing, on his hustle, on his grind. And, bro, the fact that this is the biggest thing to come out of his show is awful. Like, I'm thinking, because I know how hard it is to work for all this stuff, man. So to have this shit get ripped from you because of someone who's not you is a lot. So I wonder what this dude is going through right now, man. And, you know, Michael Rainey, man, fucked up. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Especially you want to take a chance on somebody who's smaller, you know, some smaller name, you know, put out some friends and shit like that, and his sister grabs your dick. What's she look like, though? Anyway.
Live stream online. He was like, what's the big deal? Obviously, it was his sister. What's the big deal? I don't see what the problem is. He walked that back later and said he would never condone anything like that. And a lot of people are like, I mean, you know, what's the big deal? What's the big deal?
What's the big deal is somebody touched somebody else without his consent. We have to do a better job of talking about consent, right? This is my body, this is your body. You're not allowed to touch it without my permission. And it's unfortunate that his initial reaction was, what's the big deal? That is, to me, an imprint, a reflection on sort of the cultural stereotypes when it comes to men and women and sexual violence.
And, of course, you have that double standard there, because people would have been up in arms if it was a female, you know, if she was grabbed in a private area like that.
If she was a female, if that...
Very true. Very true. If if the roles were reversed and Michael Rainey pulled a Donald Trump and grabbed her by the pussy, we'd be having a very different conversation right now. So that is one true thing. It's not even that it's necessarily that this is bad. I mean, it is bad, but it's not even necessarily that this is so bad. It's just that so much is coming out now with different people, and we're punishing a lot of men for a lot of things that we can't necessarily corroborate, you know. So the fact that we have something that's on tape of a man getting assaulted in a certain way is a good thing, and I think it kind of balances the scales and shit. So I fuck with it. Justice for Michael Rainey Jr., bro. Justice for Michael Rainey Jr., man. This shit crazy, bro. This shit crazy. This nigga really got his dick yanked, bro. This shit is nuts. But let's move on. Let's move on. Because I wanted to talk about this whole thing. This is what the title of the show is about. This is what everything's been going on. And, you know, I've kind of been stalling because, you know, I wanted to talk about Nipsey's mural for quite a long time when I saw the video coming up this morning. And I've been stalling because one of my boys who's from the West Coast, you know, was supposed to be on the video. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry. My bad. I got distracted. One of my boys was texting me something about the live stream. I thought it was going like wrong or something. But yeah, like basically I was trying to get everything set up, you know, and you know, I wanted to talk about the West Coast and this whole Nipsey Hussle thing, but I wanted somebody from the West Coast as a representative to be able to talk about it and kind of let me know, because I've only been to LA one time, you know. But I'll be honest, man, the fact that this has to get taken down, shit makes me sick, bro. Shit makes me sick. So let's play the you know, the video real quick so we can see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's my homie, you know what I mean? That's my friend. That's my friend. So for me to have to cover it up, it hurt me. It hurt me. And I know y'all love out there, put them around the city for people to enjoy them. And they want to come tag their names behind it. I'm gonna kill them. So to benefit my life, I gotta cover it up. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's a damn shame, bro. Like, you know, when it comes to Nipsey Hussle, like, shout out to Nip, man. He's been doing so much, or he did so much while he was alive and everything. And, you know, it just goes to show that no matter what you do, bro, no matter what you do, there will always be haters, bro. Even in death, you can't rest. And that's what's kind of driving me nuts, is just because I'm just like, bro, like, you know, I don't know the intricacies of him in his neighborhood and everything. Maybe we have some image of him that just isn't real or some shit, and they're like, yo, fuck this nigga. But realistically, it's been tagged over so many fucking times that they essentially just had to be like, fuck it, we're not doing it no more. And you know, it kind of just kills me how we can't have nothing, bro. We can't have nothing. He's already gone. It's like, bro, let it go. He was a figure. It doesn't matter how much your set means more than his and all that, bro. He was a figure, bro. You know what I mean? He was helping put LA on the map. It was already on the map, but he was helping it. He was helping it. He gave his little contribution. And this is one of the crazy things too, because it's just like, you know, you think about all this stuff, and you know, like right now with the whole Kendrick and Drake situation, right? Like, the West is supposed to be unified. It's supposed to be unified, and it's supposed to be like, yo, the West, oh yeah, oh, we care about real hip hop, and we care about black unity, and we care about this shit and this. Yeah, we're here, we're real. Meanwhile, you know, a dude who literally died while caring about these things, caring about the neighborhood and shit, got his top blown off, you know what I mean, who actually got wealth and brought it back to the community, he's getting vandalized by other people in that community. And my whole thought, and I want to ask this to anybody from the West Coast, is, does the West Coast only unify if it's to take a black man down? Because I feel like this whole entire last month it's been presented like the West is unified in the sense of, we care about real hip hop, we care about the community, we care about all these things that Kendrick says, and the shit that Kendrick says is the truth. The shit that Kendrick says is real, bro. The shit that Kendrick says is legitimate and heartfelt. But obviously, a lot of you guys don't feel the way that he feels. And I understand that there's gang shit and this, that, and the third, and blah blah blah. But the nigga is dead, bro. like Nipsey Hussle is dead, and on top of that, he was tapped in as far as his family, but he wasn't no fucking gangster. There's a lot of people, I actually know a couple people who actually kind of know Nipsey, and they've all said that. They've all said that he was no, like, real fucking gangster. He wasn't soft, but he just wasn't, like, he wasn't that guy. He wasn't that guy. You know what I mean? And for, I think, people right now, with LA to have the victory that it has to still be conducting themselves in this way is childish, and it fits this narrative of the fact that, like, yeah, you guys only come together when it's to take down another black person who isn't from here. And you know, one of my boys, Moxie approved. He might not like that I say this, but I've heard him say this in multiple live streams, multiple videos. He's called a lot of gang members, you know, house Negroes, because he was saying that all they do is take each other down, and you could just be a black person enjoying your day, and they roll up on you knowing you're not about their shit, and just be like, where you from, this, that, and might damn near shoot you. Meanwhile, a white person will walk through Compton, they wouldn't even touch him. You know, and this kind of screams of that. And even the Kendrick Drake shit kind of screams of that, where it's like, roll on this nigga, oh yeah, we together, we unified, blah, 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 blah. And then you go around and do this. You play They Not Like Us to go over to Nipsey's mural and paint over it so many times that his own boy has to get rid of the mural because you guys won't stop, you know? And I think that's a big problem with black unity, is that a lot of unity that black people have only comes with territory and involves taking another black person out. It just sucks that, you know, this is kind of what it has to result into, because it's just like, I love Nip, man. You know, and not even just his music, but kind of what he represented as well too. And I just, shit's corny. Shit is corny. Let's just say that. But what do you guys think about all that shit, man? Like, you know, again, I don't know the dynamics of LA and shit like that. So I was hoping that I could do this with somebody, have a real conversation back and forth with them while they talk to me about it. But, you know, it is what it is. Obviously, my channel is pretty modest. People view it like you guys are probably going to watch this later on, now when it's live streaming, which I get. And it started out late too, so things happen. But I think as things build longer and longer, people will definitely want to be a part of this more, and we can have some really, really good conversations, because shit like Nipsey's mural getting taken down is just fucking ridiculous. I don't care what hood you're from. I don't care if you're not from the hood or whatever, because I'm not, and I still care about this. It's atrocious. It's terrible. It's awful. And for everybody to be, you know, on this Kendrick tip of the unity and education and everything, and then to still be dealing with this is truly awful. And just sad. And just sad, man. But I think I'm going to call it quits, because we're damn near at midnight now. So I'm going to end this shit real quick. But thank you guys so much for watching the live stream. It's meant a lot to me. For those of you who are going to be watching this later on, let me know in the comments how you feel about everything I've been talking about. You know what I mean? I wanted to go deeper into the Nipsey stuff. Maybe the next live streaming that I do in the next day or two will involve it more, because I want a real discourse. So I want to know what you guys think and react to what you guys think. And we'll talk about it later. All right. Peace. See you later.